Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. I know it has been a little bit of time since I've last made a video, but I just got back to college. I've been adjusting and getting used to my classes and just getting back into that college lifestyle. I know it's an election season, and I'm going to be pumping out a lot of videos going forward, starting with this 2024 senatorial election prediction. And that's really all I have to say for that. But yeah, let's get into this video, starting off with the Democrats and their safe states. I will say that Republicans overall, it seems, have actually kind of blown the real chances at getting a big majority in the Senate this time around. Um, I guess they've just overall nominated poor candidates, like you could say. Um, and as a result, they're facing a map like this. And of course, Minnesota as well, at this point in time, is looking like it'll just be a safe state for the Democrats because of Amy Klobuchar, is very popular in Minnesota and whatnot. Anyway, the solid Republican states, there are a decent amount, and much more of the Democrats are up for reelection than Republicans this time around, which is true. But Indiana and West Virginia at this time, with Manchin not really on the ticket, um, likely will not be a toss-up state or even a lean Democrat state. Heading into our likely Democrat states, the state of Virginia is a likely Democrat state, as well as Heinrich in the state of New Mexico. You know, you've seen a lot of possible trends with Hispanics in New Mexico at the point in time. You know, you're looking at the polls in New Mexico, and it just doesn't look favorable for the Republicans, as well as the state of Nevada. So before, when you just looked at those safe states, it was already 48 to 40. It was a clear advantage by the Republicans. But when you really look into the margins, even as well as in Nevada with Jackie Rosen's leading by double digits against Sam Brown, is just not the best candidate to put up. And of course, we'll talk about Arizona with Kerry Lake running again for another position in Arizona. That you can't just like rerun the same people over and over and over again and expect a different result. I mean, same thing happened with Martha McSally. I mean, how many times did she run for the Senate in Arizona and lose? I mean, it's just kind of pathetic. It gets to a point where it's kind of pathetic. Um, so, you got to be careful with the state of Arizona. I'll leave the state of Maryland out for now. Larry Hogan, of course, is the very popular former Republican governor of the state of Maryland, although Angelo also LaBrooks is in my opinion probably going to win. But it'll be closer than even a state, in my opinion, at this point in time, like Nevada now. Could change, but that's what it looks like it'll be. With regard to Texas, it's still going to be a likely state, in my opinion, as well as Florida. A lot of people like to say that the states like Ted Cruz and Rick Scott in Florida are going to be competitive. Just not the case. I mean, Florida especially has trended Republican, not just in the governor's races or the presidential races, but also in the senatorial races. Look at Marco Rubio and his victory margins, double-digit victory margin in 2022. And although Rick Scott had a very narrow victory way back when in 2018, this time around it's going to be different. There has been tremendous trends in Florida in their favor of the Republicans. And with Texas, Ted Cruz, of course, you can argue that he isn't the most likable person. He's the most popular person in Texas. It's still a Republican state with Donald Trump on the ballot. His coattails will likely carry Cruz to a victory in the state of Texas. So that gives Republicans 50 seats. So if Trump does end up winning the presidency and Vance becomes president of the Senate as VP, that's the Senate majority for the Republicans. All they did basically is flip the state of West Virginia. That's all they needed to do. State of Maryland, in my opinion, a lean Democrat state, as well as the state of Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin, of course, pretty popular in the state of Wisconsin. I'm also going to be including states of Pennsylvania and Michigan. Alyssa Slotkin polling particularly well in Michigan. And in addition, in the state of Pennsylvania, Bob Casey with a narrow lead. I think even with Trump on the ballot, first of all, Pennsylvania is going to be an incredibly close race. And even with Trump on the ballot, I just don't see him carrying uh, the Republican over there. And it's just in my opinion, unlikely. Bob Casey is still pretty popular in Nevada. David McCormick, I think, uh, giving it a go this time around, but I just don't see it happening. Of course, I think he's a better nominee than Oz was against Fetterman. Um, and with Trump on the ballot, Trump is popular in the Rust Belt. He has a Rust Belt appeal. He'll be able to help a lot of Republicans get over the finish line, which is what you're going to see in some of these states coming up. But with regard to Pennsylvania, I just don't think it'll happen. In the state of Montana, I think John Tester will lose his seat, as well as in the state of Ohio. I think that Sherrod Brown will lose his seat. I'm trying to make this a lean state. However, in the state of Arizona, I believe that Kerry Lake is going to lose that race in the state of Arizona. So she loses to Ruben Gallego, who is polling incredibly well right now. I just don't think he's going to end up winning by 7 points. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. However, right now it does seem like Arizona is favoring the Democrat. I mean, it's not even close. When you look back to Lake versus Hobbs, I mean, it was at least close. In these polls, it's just not looking the same. Now, anything can change. And you can't always predict an election based off of the polls, but those are really just undeniable. With Montana and Ohio, those states especially have become much more Republican since Tester won it way back, I think, in 2008, and Brown around that time as well. They've trended Republican. So at this point in time, it's 52-48. That's my senatorial election prediction. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and have a good day. I'll see you all soon.